Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Malika Bandhu, the project chairman of Our Oceans, Our Future. And it is with great delight that I welcome you to the first lecture organized by the Green Circle of Royal College with an objective of making the students familiar with the green concepts by making them aware of the biodiversity around them. Today, as our guest speaker, we would like to introduce Professor Terney Pradeep Kumar, who holds BSc Second Class Honours from the University of Ruhuna, Sri Lanka, and a PhD in Coral Ecology from the University of Kalmar, Sweden. He was the former head of Department of Oceanography and Marine Geology and the former general manager CEO of Marine Environment Protection Authority, Ministry of Environment. He served in those portfolios for 7 years each, with active engagement in marine and coastal administration, management, research, local and international assignments, and consultancy and knowledge dissemination for more than 22 years. At present, he serves as a professor at the Department of Oceanography and Marine Geology, University of Ruhuna. And now, without further ado, we would love to invite Professor Terney Pradeep to start off this program on marine life.
Thank you, Malika. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah, sure. So let me first thank you for the Green Circle and Malik and Archana and the team to select this topic, especially the topic about Sri Lanka's ocean. So since I learned that there will be some more topics will be discussed in the future regarding the ocean, so I hope to discuss I hope to give some basic introduction about the ocean through today's speech, right? So if you have any questions, you are very much welcome. Please, you can drop to the chat box. So if not, you can directly send your questions to Malika, and then he will fill them and direct the questions to me. Whatever the questions, I will try my best to answer at the end of the speech. So since this is a first kind of lecture, so the topic we discussed was our ocean, our future. What is our ocean? Then how that ocean we should regard as our future. So I will come to that through my presentation today. So I hope you can see my slides now. So I am Terney. So I'm a marine scientist or marine ecologist, you can call me. But I'm a kind of field guy. But I was head of the department and then the general manager for MIPA for almost 7 years each. Then I came back to the university and now I'm teaching swimming, snorkeling, diving, underwater surveys, whale watching, whale management, all the ocean management through my lectures. Therefore, I really invite you one day to visit my university and meet with our students here, and maybe you can arrange some common programs like beach cleanups or whatever, mangrove restoration, coral restoration. Those are lots of fields available for you in the future. So keep that in mind. So yes, I'm from the Department of Oceanography. So this is our ocean. If you look at from this perspective, this is the equator. You can see my cursor, and this is the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. So southern hemisphere, you can see is covered largely by the ocean, right? But in northern hemisphere, ocean is very much restricted, but the ocean currents and everything is confined by all the larger land masses like Indian subcontinent here, Africa, maybe sub-Saharan region. So most of land masses are located in the northern hemisphere. So ocean is the largest saline body. Saline means water with salt. So ocean is the largest saline body in the in our planet. It's the largest ecosystem, I would say, right? And again, ocean covers about 71% of our planet's surface. What we see as land is about 29. The ocean covers 71% of land's surface. And again, ocean contains about 97% of land's water. Right? What we see on the land is still less than 3%. And again, from number-wise, ocean contains about 95% of all animals, right? Because ocean is huge. You will see that a bit later. But unfortunately, the ocean is less explored. So we talk about Mars and moon exploration, but still we have forgotten ocean. Therefore, ocean is still unexplored or unexploited for a great extent. An ocean divides people, sitting in between countries and continents, ocean divide people, but at the same time, ocean connect people through fisheries, communication, naval, shipping, international trade. Ocean connects, that's a beauty. It divides us and again, it connects us, right? So look at the words, the water, the amount. So ocean contains about 97% of water, right? The rest, out of rest 2% is almost at glaciers. You can see here, right? But rest, what we see actually is 0.65% in groundwater, lakes, rivers, and the soil moisture, and again, atmosphere. But out of this 0.65, 2%, 0.2% is again stay at groundwater. What we see actually in our lands over in our land area is about 0.45% of water, very less. But still out of that 0.45, 50% is polluted, right? It means we can't use it. So what the accessible water for humans or all animals is still around 0.2% of planet's water, right? Therefore, it's very much important to think about the ocean water for our future use. So the planet, so if you look at the planet from the bottom, right, you can see like this. This is Antarctic continent. This is Indian Ocean. This is Atlantic Ocean. And this is Pacific Ocean, is the largest ocean. And on the top, you will see Arctic. There are 5 large oceans sitting in our planet. So why oceans are important? I think since you are following some biology classes, you know, is the largest carbon sink. It absorbs carbon dioxide and store them as calcium carbonate or organic matters, right? So it absorbs carbon dioxide. It means absorbing carbon dioxide means it really cool our planet, because more carbon dioxide means more heated environment, right? Because carbon dioxide is, we know that is a greenhouse gas. More carbon dioxide means they store more energy. It because our planet get heated if you release more carbon dioxide. Therefore, by absorbing carbon dioxide and fixing it in the ocean make our planet a cooler places, a place where we can live and provide nice, you know, ambient environment temperature for us. And ocean is the largest protein source. So because we are mainly depending on fish for fish as a protein source. So ocean provides this protein source as fish. And ocean is a source for energy, you know, starting from wind energy, tidal energy, wave energy, and again energy from the biomass, and again energy from underwater hydrothermal, very superheated water from underwater. We call them hydrothermal vents. And again, we call it another energy type is called otic energy, because on the surface, ocean water is about 29 degrees around warmth. But if you go down, it's closer to near zero, right? So this is a temperature gradient. So from the temperature gradient, we can extract energy. That is called otic energy. So therefore, number of energy sources are available in the ocean. And again, minerals, right? Salt from ocean waters, and again from the ocean flow, and again medicine. So I will discuss that later. So now most of scientists, now they explore ocean for new medicines, right? Earlier we explored our jungles, right, for new medicine. Now scientists explore oceans. And if you look around in your room, so starting from your laptop, mobile phones, most of them are imported to Sri Lanka, right? Therefore, from those importation, 90% of this import or the transportation is happening through ocean means. I will show you some larger ships that carry more than 20,000 larger containers, one single ship. So therefore, the major transportation happening through ocean, right? That counts for 90%. And people tend to live closer to the ocean, because in Colombo, okay, lots of people live in Colombo because they have a very close access to the ocean and major cities in the world. Therefore, more than half of the world population live within 100 kilometers to the coast that belt, because they big industries are there, big infrastructure is there, big connectivity is there. Therefore, lots of big cities are based located on the coastlines. We are kind of oceanic. We are not land based. That's in our is inherited in us in humans, right? And ocean provides huge amount of employment. So now we think about tourism and fisheries, but beyond that, think about shipping industry, oil exploration, gas exploration, right? Scientific research and ship logistics, ship law, right? And ship designing, ship captains, ship engineers, doctors in the ship, and even chefs, uh, the people. So therefore, what we see on the land is again all the jobs are available in ocean environment, but with a larger salary scale. But those are paid in dollars, right? Therefore, for Sri Lankans, I think there's a big opportunity if you explore ocean, ocean based job opportunities. And again, ocean regulates whole the climate in our planet. So if there were no ocean in the planet, the tropical region, this area will be more heated than deserts. So we will not be able to live here in this region, because ocean distribute all the energy through the planet through ocean currents. The latest information is that the data transfer. So whatever the data we receive to our mobile phones or computers coming through ocean cables, not through satellites, right? Therefore, it again connects all of us. Therefore, ocean is very much important for us. We are living because of the ocean. We are depending on the ocean for our food, for our incomes, everything. Therefore, ocean is our life, right? Therefore, we should treat as ocean as our life. That's why ocean is called the blue heart of the planet. How the heart is important for us. Likewise, the ocean is important for the whole planet. Therefore, we call them as a blue heart. Therefore, our duty to make this heart beating non-stop without stopping it, right? Giving less problems. Therefore, we have to learn about the ocean. We have to think about the ocean. Then we have to act to protect the ocean. It means protect the ocean means that automatically protects our own survival, ensure our own survival, right? And look at this. So in your school, I know even I learned that most of our oxygen coming from trees and jungles. But now latest information says that about 50 to 85% of oxygen coming from ocean. Because in the ocean, first 100 meters water column contains huge amount of planktons, small living algae, single-celled algae. They photosynthesis and release oxygen. And ocean covers about 71% of the ocean planet surface. So huge amount of oxygen is released. Therefore, that counts for 50 to 85% of oxygen percentage in our atmosphere. Therefore, ocean makes this planet a livable place. At the same time, ocean absorb about 30% of carbon dioxide we are emitting. That accounts for 2 billion metric tons per year. Right? Ocean really cools our planet. Ocean make our planet a healthier place. Ocean make our atmosphere or this air a breathable air. Right? Therefore, we have to respect ocean. That's the first lesson I want to tell you guys. And when you think about Sri Lanka, so Sri Lanka is very much blessed with two major monsoons. We have northwest monsoon and southwest monsoon. So these two monsoons are completely governed by the ocean, right? If something happens to the ocean, if ocean currents change, the whole monsoon system will be changed. So what's the repercussion? What's the result? Our agriculture, our aquaculture, our life, because we plan everything according to our monsoons, right? Everything will be changed. Therefore, we are really depending on Sri Lanka, especially depending on those two monsoons, and we should know this. We should know that those two monsoons are governed by the ocean, right? This is the largest planet environment. So there are 5 largest oceans in our planet. Pacific is the largest. So deepest place in the Pacific is Mariana Trench, that is located in the western part of Pacific, just below Japan, Mariana Trench. Then Indian Ocean, our ocean, where we are living, right, is the 3rd largest. In the Indian Ocean, the deepest place is called Sunda Trench. So that is located on the east coast, just west of Indonesia, right? Further, just above Australia, this Sunda Trench. That's the deepest place in the Indian Ocean, right? So look at these graphs here. So this is a depth graph. So this is Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic Ocean. So this is Mariana Trench in a scale. So this is a Mount Everest on a scale. So you can see from here, if you compare these two, we can clearly see that we can easily dip Mount Everest in Mariana Trench. Mariana Trench is deeper than the height of the Mount Everest, right? So these are the average depth of the ocean. Average depth is about 2,700 meters. Average depth. This is the average height of all the mountains, right? Starting from Everest, right? All the mountain ranges in the world. This is average height. So compare these two, right? If you push all the mountains in the ocean, you will not you will not fill at least 1/4 of the ocean. Ocean is so deep than those high mountains, right? So this is how we base located in the Indian Ocean subcontinent. So this Indian Ocean, so this Indian subcontinent, this is how we are connected to Indian Ocean. So this is Bay of Bengal, this Arabian Sea. So this part is called Pork Strait. This is Pork Bay. This is Adams Bridge, and this is Gulf of Mannar, and this is again Gulf. This is Arabian Sea. So this is our location in the Indian Ocean. So from our history, we are always discussing about Indian connections, right? All the history, all the records, all the stories, right? All the religion. If you go back to the religion, everything is land-based connected, right? Connected to land-based. That is why we learned about Sri Lanka, about our country, in this scale, this perspective. Look at this. So if you are asked to draw your country, if you are asked to draw Sri Lanka, this is how you draw it, right? Sri Lanka. So it's like a pearl, right? That's why we call this as a pearl of the Indian Ocean. But this is the only the land mass. So if I come to your house, if I ask you what are your properties, you will not showing your house only, but you will show your house and the garden, right? So garden is again is your property. But look at this. So this is our land, but this is our ocean, right? So from the coastline to 200 nautical miles or 370 kilometers, up to this level, the ocean belongs to Sri Lanka. So why we draw Sri Lanka in this scale? So it's wrong, right? This only our land area, but we are having 8 times larger ocean legally, given to us from UN. Even in India also have their own ocean area. Therefore, so when we think about Sri Lanka's boundary, so you can see, look at this. This is a real boundary, right? It comprises of land and the ocean. So ocean is about 8 times larger than the land area. So this is the width from the coastline is about 200 nautical miles or 370 kilometers. But between India and Sri Lanka, it's a kind of iso distance, the same distance from India to Sri Lanka. This line. So we call this line as a Indo-Sri Lanka Maritime Boundary, IMBL, International Maritime Boundary, right? But if you cross this line, it means we are in the Indian waters, Indian territories. But if you cross here into the ocean, we are in the international sea, right? So there's lots of low legal aspects are happening here. But look at this point here. This is called tri-point or triple point. In this point, we share Maldives, Indian and Sri Lankan jurisdictional waters here. The tri-point. This point is shared by 3 countries, right? So now, up to now, I showed you about the horizontal expansion. But look at this one. This is how Sri Lanka is located in the Indian Ocean from 3D perspective, right? So this is from the coastline, 200 nautical miles, from the top to bottom, about 3,500 meters. It means from our depth of the ocean around our country is about 3,500 meters. That's why I told you ocean is huge environment. But look at this small, very shallow stretch around the country. So this is we call as continental shelf. Normally in our schools we normally call them as in Sinhala Mahadvipika Tatakaya. So it's a slow gradient here, but here at this is called continental break here. Here the depth is about 100 meters. So soon as you pass this depth or this line, it goes into trenches, very deep trenches, right? And these trenches lead into the ocean flow here. The real flow is about 3,700, 3,500 meters depth line. But if you carefully observe this continental shelf, you can see the continental shelf is very narrow in Trincomalee, very narrow in Miris, very narrow in Kalpiti. You can see in Kalpiti. So if you think about Kalpiti, Mirissa, and Trincomalee, it's another aspect you can think. That is whales, Talmas, whales and dolphins, whale watching. That is why whales come very closer to this land area because very deeper trenches are there. They can dive. Even in Miris the same, even Kalpiti the same. So if you think about here, in the mouth of Trincomalee Harbor, the depth goes to within very short distance, within half a kilometer distance, the depth goes to 800 meters in Trincomalee Harbor, right? So really huge, right? So this is a future ocean. So this part we'll get in the future. That is called the deep ocean flow. That is heard. This case is heard at UN. But if we become success, so in Sri Lanka will get about large ocean flow from and if we got that, the whole ocean flow area will be about 23 times than our landmass. Huge ocean flow we are going to receive in the future. Right? Again, look at this. This is how you see real ocean flow. If there's no water in the ocean. This is Sri Lanka, this is Maldives, this is our central hills, this is Bay of Bengal, right? This is our continental, this is our 200 nautical mile line. So if I want to say something here. So this part is called our exclusive economic zone, Ananya Arthika Kalapaya. So in this part, the management of this water, there is management of the resources there, exploit them, explore them, and sustainably use them. The resources here is a total responsibility of Sri Lanka. So we have the right to use these resources. At the same time, we have the right to protect them, right? So both are there. Again, same. This is how you see Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean. If there's no water there, right? But the same thing here. There's a land. This is our sea, ocean surface. This is shoreline, right? From shoreline to 12 nautical miles up to this point, the airspace is Sri Lankan airspace. But as soon as you pass this to 12 nautical miles, the airspace become international airspace. But still, up to 12 nautical miles, the water column is ours. Therefore, the fish living in the water, and again the salt and other minerals in the water is ours. And everything on the bottom, minerals, and again sub-bottom means here, under the bottom, gas and oil deposits, all are Sri Lankan, right? It belongs to us. But after that, after 200 nautical miles, the ocean becomes international seas, or sometimes we call them as a high seas. So, but on the ocean floor, there's another area we can claim that this part. So this is a part I am mentioning here. If you have any questions, please you can ask later. But even now you can ask questions. But this is how the ocean, what sort of legal jurisdiction we are having in the ocean, up to 12 nautical miles from the beach, we have national airspace, ocean space, and bottom. But soon as we pass 12, we lose the airspace. Airspace become international airspace, but ocean is ours. But soon as we cross 200 nautical miles, the ocean is again become it beyond our control. Then ocean becomes international ocean, right? Or sometimes we call them as high seas. But still in the E side, ocean water, ocean bottom, ocean sub bottom, the resources are ours. That is why I also always stress that when we think about Sri Lanka, we have to draw like this. This is our line. So all the resources are ours. Therefore, this is the Sri Lankan land, right? Not this. Right? So keep that in mind. So in the ocean, from the top to bottom, these are the depth is, I told you, is about 3,500 meters from top to bottom. Lots of animals live. Depending on the area they live, they show lots of modifications or adaptations, right? On the surface, on the bottom. On the surface, it's very lighted. Lots of light available, lots of oxygen, less pressure, right? And less salinity, less salt content. But if you and the high temperature. But if you go down, extreme pressure, no light at all, right? High salinity. Water is so cold, near zero water, right? And very slow water movements are there. So therefore, animals are very much adapted to this situation. So what are the animals living in the ocean? Because ocean starts from the coast, right? Therefore, I start from the coast. So start from sand dunes, lagoons and estuaries, mangroves, salt marshes, beaches, seagrass beds, corals. Pelagic means the water column. Sea mounts means ocean mountain ranges. And hydrothermal vents, very highly or superheated water, super cold water, cold seeps, right? All are available in our ocean. These are if I start from the shoreline, these are sand dunes. Sand dunes are the very good physical barrier, and it's another ecosystem, right? You can even do some lots of research. These sand dunes contain lots huge amount of minerals and very much important for the local ecosystem protection, because sand dunes absorb all the sea breeze, the salt contents, and absorb all the oceanic energy, right? These are sand dunes. This is where you can find sand dunes, starting from Mantoto to Pottuil, and again Mullatiu, and again Mana, and in somewhere, sometimes in Kalpitia and Mundal, you can find some sand dunes. And estuaries and lagoons. So in Sinhala, we call them as Kalapu and Gangmoya. So these are fringed by mangroves, you can see here. So these mangroves act as filters. So they filter everything. They filter solid waste, they filter all the toxic materials and send the filtrate out to the sea, right? So if you cut these mangroves, the filtration functions just disappear, right? So it means you send polluted water directly to the sea. So in the coastal waters are, completely covered with coral reefs and the seagrasses. So they get the whole burden if you really remove these mangroves from these estuaries and lagoons. These are mangroves. So mangroves are, those are salt tolerant plants. They living in the interface between land and the sea, or land and the water. So this interface is very much muddy. So therefore, these plants, they show lots of adaptations. They have a number of roots, prop roots, knee roots, pneumatophores. So you will learn those in your A levels, right? And they have, the waxy leaves. They have salt glands. They have lots of adaptations to live in these harsh conditions, right? So these are the mangrove distribution in our planet, in our ocean, in Sri Lanka. All the lagoons and all the estuaries are covered with mangroves. And then the beaches. So beaches, this is a beach from maybe 15 years ago, very clean, but this beach is now totally converted into touristic beaches. If you go now, these beaches. And types of beaches. These are beach with, coconut husk industry. You can see it here. This is now very, slowly dying industry, coconut husk industry. And some beaches are covered with rocky rocks. These are called rocky beaches. Some are pebble or rubble beaches. This is in Delft Islands in Jaffna, right? And some beaches are very, they are muddy beaches, especially in Jaffna, around Jaffna Lagoon, Jaffna Islands. Some beaches are really muddy. So when we talk about beaches, always we think that beaches should be covered with sand. It's not. Beaches are sandy, beaches are muddy, beaches are sometimes rocky. Sometimes beaches are covered with those rubbles and pebbles, right? Then I move to the water. First, water column is a water column, right? Starting from jellyfish, right? What the animals living in the water column. And look at this. This is another very common picture you might have seen, right? But what is this black patch? This is still fishing, right? These fishermen, they are fishing using rod and line. But this fishing method is available only in Sri Lanka, no other place of the world. Even in Sri Lanka, only in down south, in Hikkaduwa, Merissa, this stretch is very much popular for this typical fishing method, right? Still fishing. So if you go down here, if you dive or snorkel here, this is how you see. This is a fish school. They are fishing, right? So lots of herrings are there. So this black patch is fish underwater, right? And if you move further, you can see another typical marine flora called sea grasses. So sea grasses are true grasses. I am not talking about seaweed. Seaweed is another thing. Seaweed is the kind of the plants that cover rocks. But these are sea grasses. These sea grasses are true plants, right? They have roots, they have stems, they have leaves, they have veins. Even they bear flowers. Look at this. These are sea grass flowers. They have fruits. They are seeds. So if somebody asks you whether can we find any flowering plants in the ocean, your answer should be yes. These are sea grasses, and they bear flowers underwater, and they have adaptations to fertilize underwater, right? They release their sperms and eggs, and those are met in underwater, right? Therefore, ocean currents help this underwater fertilization. And these are sea grasses in Puttlam. These are sea grasses in Jaffna. You can see the largest. The height of the sea grass is about 1 meter, the largest sea grass species, right? And in the sea grass, you can find sea horses, lots of fish species, and again, these sort of sea cucumbers and sea urchins and cowrie, right? Therefore, the sea grasses are from just at single glass, it looks like we don't need them. But these are the cradle for marine life. Lots of animals, they live in sea grasses, right? They start their life among sea grasses. So that is why lots of Indian trawlers, Indian boats come into our waters and do trawling. Trawling is a fishing gear, trawling, because they find lots of shrimps in our sea grasses in north region, especially northwestern region, in Pork Bay, right? The next ecosystem is coral reefs. You can see it here. The coral is a reef. It runs parallel to the coastline. It absorbs all the ocean energy and provides nice flat lagoons, and it protects our shoreline from erosion. And in the lagoons, you can bath, you can snorkel, you can do lots of water sports. You will find lots of biodiversity here, coral reefs, corals, lots of fish. So very good for local tourism. This reef lagoon, this is a reef flat. This is a reef. Reef always runs parallel to the coastlines. So if you go further down, if you dive here, you will see the underwater scape. These are corals, right? And this is a coral reef again at a low tide. This is exposed reef. These are coral colonies, right? I can see them and covered with these are seaweed, not seagrass. Seagrasses I showed you earlier, but these are seaweed. These are seaweed is a very primitive plants. They don't bear flowers. They don't have roots, but they have hold fast to attach to rocks. Just you do some Google browsing and find the difference between sea grasses and seaweeds. You will learn something more, right? These are corals. So these all small buds are coral polyps, or in Sinhala we call them as coral bhubava. So they produce coral reefs, right? Coral bhubava. If you snorkel next time, if you dive next time, look carefully. You will see coral buds like this, coral polyps like this, right? So these are coral reefs are very colorful, very dynamic, very vivid, right? Very highly biodiverse. So these are the coral reef distribution in the world. In Sri Lanka. These are coral reefs. In down south is I colored them in red because they are already gone because of our activities. But if you want to see some good corals, you can go to East Coast, the West Coast in Kalpitia, maybe some Jaffna, around Jaffna lagoons. There are some corals you can see, right? So if you want to learn about corals, I have another speech about corals, about how we identify corals, what the importance of corals, what are the threats faced by corals, what are the coral reef types. So we can talk about coral reefs maybe another day, right? Coral reefs are sometimes called as rainforest in the ocean, because rainforest we know those are very much highly biodiverse. But coral reefs are more biodiverse than rainforest, right? If you compare coral reefs, you cannot observe frogs, amphibians on coral reefs. But if you go to rainforest, you can't find coral, you can't find corals, you can't find sea grasses, you can't find jellyfish, right? You can't find other sea animals. Lots of animals are absent in rainforest, but in ocean environment, only frogs are absent. All other animals are living in the coral reefs and ocean environment. Therefore, ocean environments are very much diverse than rainforest. That is why if you become a diver, if you want to explore ocean, you will not stop, because it's a unending world. New chapter is opening in every second. You can learn, you can explore to the maximum. Therefore, I encourage you to start diving, start swimming, and start exploring ocean, because Sri Lanka needs people who really cares the ocean, right? Then I go to deep ocean, offshore, and ocean water. You can see lots of marine life there, fish life, animals, right? And these are the color fish. These are uh, food fish, and very colorful fish, right? And in deep waters. Not only that, jellyfish, right? So this looks like a flower, but this is actually it's a worm, right? So this is called sabella worm, feather duster worms, right? This looks like this called Christmas tree worm. It's not it's animal. It's again a worm, right? These are coral polyps. This enlarged picture anyway. These are coral polyps when they come out for feeding. It's like a small flower, but this is a single animal, right? These are, and this is uh, sea animal. Larger sea animals about 1 feet in diameter. Sometimes I have seen more larger sea animals more than 1 feet. And then I go to deeper waters. In deeper waters, I told you that no light, very less temperature. Therefore, animals are very adapted. These are underwater mountains, right? And these are underwater landscape with cold water. And animals very much adapted in the underwater areas, right? And you can see some dead whales underwater, and adapted octopus, and even lobsters are there. And these are called hydrothermal vents. So these vents release superheated water, right? Therefore, we can extract energy from this. And again, lots of sulfur, even gold, you can find around these areas. So it's a good gold mine if you can find these, these hydrothermal vents around Sri Lanka. It's a good opportunity for us to, earn foreign bucks, right? So these are things we haven't explored. And underwater animals, deep water animals, these are called untapped. These are larger mussels, right? About sometimes they reach into 1 meter, one single mussel, right? So those are untapped resources we can definitely capitalize on. And again, these are cold water deep areas, lots of animals. So you saw what sort of animals living in the ocean. So that's why I just want to show you at the first glance. This is our ocean. It's not small, it's a huge, and it covers with a huge amount of animals. And as Sri Lankans, we have a big potential. So now we think, let's look at the global perspective, right? So this is where we are in the Indian Ocean. So we are the center at One Belt, One Road initiative that's coming from China, China One Belt or OBOR initiative. So we are very much centered. So when they implement this whole project, Sri Lanka will be a focal point. That is why China, India, US, all are focusing on Sri Lanka, right? Because there's a very strategic location we are based. So from Sri Lanka, we can assess all the continents and here all the Indian Ocean islands, maybe in 1 hour time. So very easy connectivity. So therefore, if you are connected in the global market, so we can get 40% advantage for our GDP, for our income, right? So look at Germany, Hong Kong, USA, Singapore, UK. They receive global funds because of this connectivity. But you can see here, we are very much centered and connected, but we are not exploiting this uh, 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 benefits still. Look at one of the largest shipping lane just below Dondra Head, right? So big ships like this, this is the largest ship ever is. So that one single ship it can carry about 24,000 large containers like this. So the size of this one single container is 10 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet. So you might have seen them on the road, how large those are. But this one single ship carried about 24,000 such containers. You can see amount of good they transport, right? And our port is still running at 70% efficiency, but we can increase that efficiency. This is the global data connectivity through data cables. We are at the center, right? And look at this. This is the future ocean routes, sea routes that will cross from here. This is Singapore. That is called this Singapore. So new ship canal will come here. So if this become reality, the Colombo and Hambantota will be the largest ports in the whole region. So we have a big potential. So you can become a scientist working on the shipping industry. You can become a engineer. You can become a doctor working for the shipping industry. You can become a seafarer. You can become a ship captain, right? Lots of opportunities for us, right, to explore this area. Look at this port city. This is the old harbor, is a new harbor. This port city. So it's again huge opportunities for us to, if we explore them properly. This is the new harbor, right? The old harbor, new harbor, but still then another harbor is to be established here. That's called North Port. This is South Port. This North Port, right? So look at the proposal, North Port. So I think in your lifetime you will see that the North Port become a reality. So if in that case, there are lots of job opportunities. You have a big opportunity to explore ocean, to become, to find your own, income sources through ocean means. This Hambantota, right? This Hambantota port. So again, think about the opportunities you are having in your future, right? This is another city coming in Colombo. This is called Maritime City, starting from Goldface going to Vellavatta. This is a proposal. But look at the opportunities, big observation circles, and lots of new industries are about to come in those areas. So about 50 meters of sea will be acquired for this. So I also like to see this project someday to become a reality. This is Trincomalee. Trincomalee you can establish very deeper harbor, right? That is why we call Trincomalee as one of the largest harbor in the world. Because if you anchor ships here, nobody will see from the sea. But with the new technology from the satellite, you can easily observe it. But Trincomalee is a very deep, largest harbor in Sri Lanka. We can with lots of potential there, right? We have lots of beaches, lots of islands, lots of industries like Navy Dockyard, China Bay, Tokyo Cement, and again IOC, Ashraf Jetty, Prima factory, and Air Force the runways here. So this is a nice place to again for lots of ocean development, right? So you should know again, the Trincomalee is the only place in the world where you can see on the land side the largest land animal, that is elephant, and on the sea side the largest ocean animal, that's blue whale. That's the only city in the world. That's a good marketing point if you market this properly to the world tourism, right? And in Trincomalee, we can establish lots of underwater restaurants like this, and underwater deep water diving, right? And again, free diving in deep areas is new sport, but in Sri Lanka, we are not doing it much, but still Maldives is very good in free diving. Those are the new sports we can attract to Trincomalee, right? Super yachts like this, and yachts like this, and super yachts like this. I said, we have the potential, but still we are not using them in proper manner. And water sports, right? Sailing, those are high-end tourism activities, but we are giving very less prominent. We are not considering this as a good, opportunity for us. And I told you, we know more about moon than our ocean, and we have a space tourism now. But this is deep water tourism, so people can hire these submarines and go deeper, right? So this is one ticket to observe Titanic. That one ticket cost about 90,000 pounds in this submarine, right? So if you can establish those submarines in the Trincomalee harbor, right, it's a very deep bay. The depth goes to 800 meters here, right? We can easily initiate those industries in Sri Lanka, right? And look at the the facilities in those deep water submarines, right? You can observe everything nicely. And those largest cruise ships, still we are not bringing them to our waters. There's a nice place in Colombo Harbor to do them, right? Therefore, ocean is a critical factor, right, for us. Therefore, we should treat ocean as our future, our living means, the thing that really make our planet or make our country a livable place. Therefore, we have to think about the ocean. We have to care ocean very much. So that's why we talk about blue economy, right? Blue economy is to take all the opportunities from the ocean. Ocean for food, ocean for energy, ocean for transportation, ocean for minerals, ocean for water, ocean for leisure, and an ocean for health, right? So look at, but still what we are doing. Look at this. We are not protecting the ocean. We are destroying our ocean, right? So if you look here, dynamite fishing, right? Look at this. This is dynamite. So this is a shipwreck in Kayankani on the east coast, but this the wreck is dynamited. It's blasted. Look at this, the difference, right? We kill all the animals there by dynamite, and even people dive and collect those dead fish after dynamite, right? So lots of fishing gears are banned in Sri Lankan waters. For example, this monofilamentous net, and again spear guns is banned, but still people are using, even Colombo, I know lots of people are using these spear guns, right? They spear fish. So look at this large fish. This is called uh, 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 hump head wrasse. This is a hump head wrasse. So this wrasse is about 1 meter in length, more than 1 meter. So it's a very slow animal, but if you dive with this animal, you can even keep eye contact. You can even talk to this animal, right? Very friendly, and we can attract tourism by selling this animal, keeping this animal and protecting this animal. But look at this, how we treat them in Unuatuna. This guy is from diving center, so he's taking tourists to the ocean, but still these guys are spearing these larger animals, right? So this is how we treat our ocean environment, right? So in our waters, all the whales are protected in Sri Lanka. Blues, And orcas, all whales, all marine mammals are protected. These are marine, even all dolphins are protected, right? But still, look at, you can see this dead dolphin, the killed dolphin. This man is holding a killed dolphin carcass here, right? And you can see the whales. This is propeller cut from fishing boat. Easily on the top, you can see the top propeller cut. And all the turtles are protected. You know, in our planet, we have 7 turtle species. Out of the 7, 5 turtle species are available in our waters. They come to our waters to lay their eggs and raise their uh, uh, offsprings. Green, leatherback, hawksbill, loggerhead, and olive. But how we treat them? These are the whole turtle species. These turtle species are not available in Sri Lankan waters, but these 5 is available. But this is what we do. This is not from Sri Lanka, but we kill turtles. We collect turtle eggs, right? And this treasure shark is a protected species. This whale shark is protected, but I think you have seen these whale sharks fished in some TV news also, right? The big shark, very slow, very majestic animal, but still we kill them, right? White tips are protected, right? And this is called tambua or as a grouper. It's protected, but if you go to your supermarkets, you will see them in this form. These are protected species, right? Like bears and other animals. These are protected. You can see them in your supermarkets and fish markets like this, right? This how. So I told you what is ocean, why we should protect the ocean. Now this what we do, right, to the ocean. And if you go to Pigeon Islands or maybe to coral reefs, you walk on reefs like this, right? So you walk on living corals underwater. You will see like this, right? Even people sitting on the living on corals. They break corals, right? Look at the damage we are doing. We are doing without knowing it because we don't have proper awareness about our resources. That is the main reason, right? And these are damaged corals. This is undamaged. This is damaged in Hikadu. Look at these ships, the boats. Check their anchor line here. But if you dive here, where these anchors are, placed on coral reefs, right? And then I move into pollution, right? This pollution, this oil pollution in Vicovita, right? This is solid waste pollution, right? So out of the solid waste coastal pollution, only 10% coming from the ocean. 90% of these pollutants coming from the land, right? And out of this 10%, some are coming from other countries. We call them as transboundary. India, Burma, Thailand. So we receive some waste from other countries, right? So this me. So we did a survey in Pasikuda Reef, Pasikuda Beach. So we collected about 10 bags of plastic bottles. We checked their labels, right? You can see the countries: Malaysia, Maldives, Turkey. These are the countries: Turkey, China, Maldives, Seychelles, Andaman Islands, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Malaysia, Indonesia. Those are called transboundary, where we receive those plastics. But 90% of plastics or waste coming from the land through those rivers, right? So it is said that in the world, we dump about 8 million metric tons of plastic to the ocean annually. But in Sri Lanka, this is how we treat them. This is Nigambu, Sarukukand beach. This is Vellavatta. You should know that, right? Vellavatta beach is clean. Why? Because somebody is cleaning in the morning. You should know that. But this is if nobody's if this Vellavatta beach is left aside without cleaning, this is the scenery you would expect, right? This is Crow Islands. And in Sri Lanka, these are our statistics from 2017. We release about 32 million kilograms of solid waste annually. Sri Lankans, you and I, right? So think about how it comes. Think about the water bottles you consume. Think about the chocolate you eat. Think about the toffees you eat. Think about where they end up. They end up in our coastal waters, right? So that is why Sri Lanka ranked number 5 in the worst beach polluters index. right? Above us is Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, China, right? So we are polluting. We are the world ranked country for coastal pollution, right? So this is about how long it take to decompose, right? Paper towel will take 2 to 4 weeks to decompose. Banana peel 3 to 4 weeks. Paper bag 1 month. Newspaper one and a half months. Apple core 2 months. Cardboard 2 months. Cotton glove 3 months. Orange peels 6 months. Plywood 1 to 3 years. Wool sock 1 to 5 years. Milk cartons 5 milk cartons. Uh, Milo kind of thing, 5 years. Cigarette butts, 12 years. Leather shoes, 40 years. Tin steel can, salmon tins can, 50 years. Foam plastic cups, 50 years. Rubber boot sole, 50 to 80 years. Plastic containers, 80 years. Aluminum can, you can have beer cans, 200, 500 years. Plastic bottles, 450 years. Monofilamentous net, 600 years. Plastic bag, 200, 2000 years. So if you drop your water bottle today, it will be in the environment, just lingering there at least for 300 years more, right? You will die, I will die, but the bottle we used will be there. Never think about that. So think, our ancestors, they did not use plastics. That's why our environment is still clean, but we are polluting. But what will happen to your sisters or your juniors in the future? What sort of pollution they have to face? So some plastic they float, some they float in the water column, some plastic they sink to the bottom, right? So when they are in the water, some animals, they identify them as their food. This blue whale is the size of a blue whale, right? I just want to show the size. This sperm whale, and they eat when they filter, because those whales are filter feeders. When they filter feed, they have a big mouth gape. Mouth opening is called mouth gape. It's about 2 meters mouth gape. So when they filter feed like this, they take everything including plastic, right? So what happens? These plastic, they really entangle or block their elementary or food canals, and they die. This is what happened in the Spanish coast. So they have found this sperm whale about 32 kilograms, 32 or 29 kilograms of plastic in the stomach. This again, Indonesia. Scientists has found from dead sperm whale about 115 plastic cups, 4 plastic bags, 25 plastic bags, 4 plastic bottles, 4 thorns, 1,000 plus plastic pieces. So now think about how we damage ocean environment and the animal there. I think you have seen that, right? The damage we have caused, right? And again the physical damage, the pain we have given them. And then we move to the next part, the plastic dust. When they decompose, they first convert into small plastic powder that's called plastic dust. So we sometimes produce them and use them in our products. Those are called primary microplastics. And when our products, when they decompose, when they convert into plastic dust, we call them as secondary microplastics. So these are microplastics, small plastic pieces. These are small plastic pieces. These are microplastics. They are secondary. These are primary because we are producing them. So why we produce? To add them in these kind of products, our toothpaste or scrubbing cream. So when you when you feel your toothpaste, when you feel some hard material, that is microplastic, right? So WWF, is World Wildlife Fund. They have estimated that per week, average person take about 1,769 plastic pieces into our body through water, to food, to other drinks, and even salt, right? So they take about around 1,700 pieces of plastic per day, per week. So that 1,769 counts for 5 grams. 5 grams means the weight of a credit card, right? It means we weekly we eat about 5 grams of plastic through our water, through our drinks, through our milk, through our food, through our smell, through our breath, we take in. So think about the gravity, right? Think about the danger there, right? And again, those microplastics, they are settled in elementary canals or food canals of small planktons. So planktons are the base of food webs and food chains. So we kill, we devastate the food chains, the whole the base of the food chains. So what will happen to our food in the future? Because from the base we cut it, right? And the pollution from ships, right? This is one ship pollution happened in off Colombo. That's called New Daniela. This is new diamond ship pollution, right? You can see the air pollution from new diamond, oil pollution from new dam, and sound pollution from ships, and again all ocean activities, right? You can still remember this, this short fin porpoises. They died in Colombo waters because of sound pollution. And Express Pearl ship. This is how Express Pearl ship came to Sri Lanka. It's a very new ship, 3 months old. Somehow, this where it ended up. The Express Pearl. This Express Pearl now. Still oil is leaking. Right? Lots of chemicals are leaking. And oil pollution, air pollution, solid waste pollution, thermal pollution from Express Pearl, right? And you can see the nurdle pollution. These are plastic nurdles, plastic pellets, and light pollution from the ocean, right? And not only that, El Nino events. So El Nino is another event, but I don't have enough time to discuss. But please read about El Nino, right? How El Nino become a threat for marine environment, because in El Nino period, the sea temperature increases very fast, very rapidly, and stays at that high level. So it causes thermal stress for animal. So this coral reef, coral patch looks like a healthy for you, but for me it's dead. The dead coral reef, coral patch, right? And there's a sea erosion. You can see here, right? Because of this environmental calamity, disasters. Therefore, what we see in the ocean, what we know in the ocean, and what we do to protect the ocean is very much tiny, very negligible. Therefore, what is it's like it's less than tip of iceberg. The whole problem is unknown for us, unseen by us. We don't feel it, right? Therefore, to protect the ocean, we can do a lot. We can control measures. We can aware. This is a kind of awareness program for us. We can establish protected areas. We can ban some. We can protect some species. We can restore some environment. We can rehabilitate some environments. We can do some more research. Right? Look at this, some programs, not like you, but this is some rural areas. We do some awareness programs, right? And we do lots of coastal cleanups, right? You can join. You can talk to me. We can arrange some cleanups in maybe down south, maybe Colombo. Colombo is very much, people do daily. But if you come down south, if you go to the East Coast, you can arrange this in Trincomalee. Some cleanups, right? And these are sort of, we call them as strainers. These are strainers from other country. These are strainer from Behiwala Canal. This is how it is. It block all the floating garbage, and people they remove from this point, right? And you can pick plastic from beach, from your school garden, from the roads around your school, right? You can maintain the roads around your school by yourself, right? That is again a service you can do. You can buy less packaged items. Less packaged means less plastic and less polythene, right? You can reuse reusable bags. You can convert into 6R concept. Earlier we had 3R: reduce, reuse, recycle. But in 6R, recycle, reuse, reduce, refuse, rethink, repair. You can refuse plastic. You can always say no for plastic bags. You can always say no for shopping bags, right? Think about thinking that way, and you can always save your electricity. You can always take the stairs instead of elevators, right? You can use public transportation, right? So this is one single classic example. This is how I used to take flowers to the temple, like when I was a kid, and we had to have a cane trays like this. But now all the trays are in, plastic trays, plastic flowers. If you have plastic flowers in your school classroom, think about that, right? You can convert those plastic flowers into nice living plant there, right? Small pot with living plant, because plastic is polluting. So plastic flowers, we call them as a dust collectors. We collect dust, and 1 year time you replace them, you throw it away, right? So it means you are using plastic in really unethical manner, right? So those are tiny things you can do from school level, right? So these garlands, plastics, because in Sri Lanka, plastic is banned to be used in decorations. In school level, you are not allowed to use plastic or polythene for any decorations, right? Stop using those plastic straws. You can see, look at this. If you drink Milo like this, you will use 1, 2, 3 plastic pieces, right? If you drink a bottle from bottled water, you will release 5 plastic pieces. This label, the lid, the ring here, 3, the bottle 4, the label 6, 6, label 5, 5 plastic pieces if you drink water from bottled water. Think in that way, right? You can see, you can have the sort of, nice plastic and this living plant pots in your classrooms. You can convert Royal College as a plastic free zone, right? Those are tiny things, but still you can do, right? You can engage in coral restoration activities with us, maybe mangrove restoration activities with us, maybe seagrass restoration, maybe beach cleanups with us, maybe awareness programs for rural kids. You can support us, and maybe we can convert our empty roads into this sort of very nice green shady roads that also help protecting our environment, right? So that also again protect our ocean, right? So I'm not focusing on land environment, but at this moment, but this is what you can do, right? You can keep your roadsides very clean, right? Your school roadsides, or maybe roadside in front of your house. If you can keep it clean and tidy, that's a thing you can do, right? And with the time, what happened? Our ocean resources are dying. Before 1998, we had very good coral reefs, but now lots of dead coral reefs in Sri Lanka. In 1960s, we caught about larger snappers, about 21 pounds, but now small snappers are collected without one pound in weight, right? Therefore, the resources are depleting with the time, right? It means we are we are facing the threat of losing our food in the future, losing our fresh air in the future, because everything is depending on the ocean. Therefore, we have to think about development plus conservation is a big challenge for us, but we have to know about how we can develop, how we can conserve, because in conservation we have to think about sustainable conservation. We can consume, but we have to put something for future generations, right? Therefore, we can do some more research. You can initiate some research, everything to protect our environment. Therefore, the ocean day is 8 June, 5th June is Environment Day. During those days, again, what we do is we learn about the importance of the environment, importance of the ocean, how we can protect them, what are the bad things we are doing, how we get together as a school, what you can do, how you collect all the other schools in Colombo, and how you support rural schools, everything you can think about, right? I gave you some ideas what we can do. Somehow we have to think that we are living because of the ocean. It's our lifeline, it's our heart, right? Somehow we have to protect that. If you don't protect that, that's the end of our life. Not only our life, means you and me will be in a very bad situation, and we will lose our lives in very early days without having fresh air, without having food, because we are mainly depending on the ocean for all these resources. So thank you from me as the introduction. I think if you have any question, you can ask from me. Thank you. This is me anyway.
Sir, we have received some questions.
Go ahead.
The first question, sir, what causes ocean tides?
tides are caused by moon and uh, uh, sun, and again ocean is rotating, and this rotation and the influence of moon and influence of sun is a main uh, cause for tides, because when the moon, because of the gravitational force of the moon, so our planet is dragged towards the moon, but the land cannot be moved, but water can be moved. Therefore, the in moon side, the ocean become bulged. So it's another big anyway theory I can teach you, but it's again several hours of lectures. But tides are caused by, in very simple terms, gravity of the moon, gravity of the sun, and again controlled by the Earth's rotation. If I give a very simple answer.
How fast do coral reefs grow?
Corals, depending on the species, but branching corals, they grow about 5-6 centimeters per year. But bold corals, they take about 50 years to come to a football size bowl, right? So anyway, the coral growths are very, very low. That is why coral takes millions of years to come to that level. So, but still we are destroying them. That is the coral growth rates are, but compared to other plants and other growth rates, coral growth rates are very low.
What strategies do you use on preserving endangered marine species?
So I told you to awareness is one. We can ban them, right? We can stop them from fishing, and we can establish marine protected areas, right? And again, if you found something, somebody is doing that, you can inform police, right? We can have more rules and regulations to protect that species. We can ban some areas. We can ban some seasons, for example, during fishing them, right? And we can arrange some quota systems, for example, to catch tuna. We can say, okay, only 500 boats allowed. More than 500 boats you are not allowed, and we can have a size quota. Maybe we can say, okay, larger trolls, maybe 5 trolls allowed, others are not allowed. So those sort of actions we can take. So through all these actions, we can control or we can protect those animals, and we can do research, we can propagate them, and we can reintroduce them into the areas, right? To research. So those are the things we can do to protect endangered species.
What is the most challenging aspect of boat handling during an assignment at sea?
During boat handling, the boat handling, everything is mainly depending on the power, the ability of the boat. I mean the engine power and everything, and the boat, the boat construction. But everything is depending on the sea, the ocean currents, the waves, the wave heights, and again wind power. Therefore, even if you become a very good sailor or a good captain, still you are mainly depending on the waves, the height of the waves, and the frequency of the waves, and the strength of the wind, and again the currents. So all in because we use boats in the sea, and the sea is unpredictable, and it's a natural environment. So depending on our capacity of the boat, we have to voyage, because we cannot challenge those environments. If the sea becomes so rough, even ships is become very null and void. Ships also sometimes can't handle those rough environments. So everything depending on the environment. In the environment, tide, ocean waves, wind strength, and again currents. Those are the things we have definitely we have to fight with, if you want to really maneuver a boat or any ocean going craft.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your vast knowledge of the world of marine biology with us all here today. And we would like to thank everyone for joining today and hope you guys learned something new. And we hope to see you all again on Wednesday and Friday for our lectures with Dr. Dan Gunasekara on ocean pollution and the laws of the sea, and with Professor Ruchira Kumaratunga on coral reefs and the dangers they are facing. I'm Malika Bandhu Tilaka, and thank you for joining with us today.
Malika, one more thing. If you get any comments or feedback from your students, please share with me.
Okay, sir.
If you have any feedbacks, I'm really welcome because I want to know how you see this topic, because this topic is a bit new, but it's very important. Therefore, I really request all of you to send your feedbacks to Malika and maybe Tilina or somebody, or maybe Archana. So if you got this feedback, whatever plus or minus, just share with me.
Will do, sir.
Thank you.